Welcome to a special program of African Renaissance Television Services. Today we're here to introduce our Afrocentric content, especially our English content with which we hope to reach the people of Africa. Today here with me, it's Agabelai from My Africa and Damak Afrihot from Diplomat of the Month are here, and we're going to give you a brief highlights of what African Renaissance Television Services hopes to achieve in the coming few years, especially in content that's going to be reaching the people of Africa. Zaga, give us a bit of introduction about who you are and a highlight of My Africa.
Thank you so much, Brooke. So as he has introduced me, my name is Agabelai. I host and produce an Afrocentric show called My Africa.
Yes. Dame.
Thank you, Brooke. Hello, everyone. My name is Damak Afrihot. I am the producer and host of a show called Diplomat of the Month that airs on African Renaissance Television.
So I think I forgot to introduce myself in the middle of this.
Yes.
So my name is Brooke Asagud. I am the host and producer of Arts Business Cafe. So let's talk about our shows. I think that's going to be the
Let's start from the women.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Either way, thank you so much. As I have mentioned earlier, I host and produce an Afrocentric show called My Africa. And as the name itself implies, the show focuses on the perspective that we have as a nation, as an Africans, because growing up in this continent, growing up in our country, Ethiopia, we are not raised to express ourselves, the thoughts and opinions that we have. So My Africa specifically targets and works on trying to create this platform in which people can share their ideas, share their perspective, what they believe that is good for Africa, because the fact that they're Africans gives them enough right to share us their ideas. But most importantly, the main core of this show is to boost consciousness, because when you're conscious, when you create, or when you have the awareness, then you are able to share your thoughts, because no one can't be equally conscious. One might be a bit conscious more than the other. So this show specifically tries to create the consciousness, and then after the consciousness is created, it will gather up the different thoughts, perspectives, ideas that we have on our weekly topics. And we talk about that, we communicate, because it's My Africa, you know? Our opinion as an individual matters. That's what the show is in a very precise way.
I guess even the name raises
the whole idea. Yeah.
So your audience can watch you every week and see this content. I think it's uploaded on our YouTube channel.
Yes, on Arts TV YouTube channel, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go to you.
Yes, finally.
What?
I'm seeing he's no. I'm seeing he's saving the best for last. That's what he's trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, well.
So let me ask you one thing. Which cities are the most diplomatic cities in the world? Like, tell me the top 3.
I think New York is one of it, right?
Yeah, New York. I think Geneva, right? The second one?
New York, Geneva, and Addis Ababa is the third one.
Oh, okay.
Amazing, right? And we did not use the opportunity that brings to our city. Us, as African Renaissance Television, realized the unique opportunity of having this collective diplomats in our country. AU is located in Addis Ababa. More than 122 diplomatic missions are ongoing in Addis Ababa.
And don't forget the Organization for Educational Cooperation, the OEC, which was just formed a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago, the CDC, African CDC, that was recently launched. All this brings an opportunity to give the African people a centralized message from their diplomats, from their ambassadors, from people who are actually running the continent together. So that's what Diplomat of the Month is trying to achieve.
That's really nice.
So it uses the unique opportunity of our location and the image that our company has towards Africa. That in combination forms Diplomat of the Month. So we mainly feature diplomats and any diplomatic figures that contributed in any way to the African continent. and who are active in shaping the future of Africa as a continent. So not only that, we try to access and do interviews and do coverage of different diplomats and ambassadors who are directly influencing the Africa as a continent. We can take the Chinese embassy, for example. We will be covering the influence of the Belt and Road Initiative because 52 African countries have signed to be on board with this Belt and Road Initiative, and it is a huge project.
I mean, 52.
52.
That's a lot.
Yes, and in total, 52 have signed. So this shows the magnitude of the project and how much it will connect Africa and how much it will connect Africa with China as well. So because that is the end plan. So we try to get into the whys and the hows and the whos of the diplomatic community and present it in a way where it is suitable for our African audience and to the highest standards as African Renaissance television always does.
Beautiful.
Brief explanation, right?
Beautiful, yes. So we have philosophy, culture.
Anything related to Africa?
We have the diplomacy here, and well, as we are the voice of African Renaissance, and we have to think about business and economy as it is one of the largest pillars of any civilization. With my show, Arts Business Cafe, I'm working towards promoting the overall economy of Africa. In that sense, the African economy needs to be integrated, especially with Agenda 2063 hammering on this African continental free trade area. I hope to be a catalyzing factor in connecting African businesses. So Arts Business Cafe works on connecting businesses across the continent. We need to know about businesses in Lagos, while we're here in Addis, in Johannesburg, in Cairo. We're trying to connect the entire continent through business. And to indeed secure the Renaissance of Africa, we need to be empowering the continent economically. Don't you think so?
Yes, definitely. Especially the African free trade movement is one of the biggest sectors that we have, one of the biggest projects that we have to work on, because if there is free movement of people, there's going to be free movement of goods. You'll get to understand one country's culture, history, and a lot of things at the same time. And the more you understand other countries, nations, or the history of other countries, the history of other nations, the more you get to understand yourself, the more you get to see yourself, because it's a mirror. And yeah, that's one of the biggest things that impact Africa.
So these are just some of our English content. We have many more in the pipeline and currently airing too. But what should we be expecting from African Renaissance Television Services English contents?
I think it's much better if my colleague Damek starts from what we should expect from Diplomat of the Month.
Thank you. So it starts from our company's name, African Renaissance Television. So we are holding a huge name on our shoulders, and we have to act accordingly. We are recently planning to start airing our Swahili and French shows, just to be more accessible throughout African countries, as Swahili is more spoken in the West and French in the Central Africa. So we're trying to expand, and we're trying to become equal to our name. Diplomat of the Month is trying to create that link between states within Africa, people within Africa, and their perspective on and understanding of what other diplomats and have understanding of other diplomats' perspective towards other countries in the state. So we're trying to be, we are trying to be that bridge between the people and the diplomatic community of Africa.
That's really nice. So as you have mentioned a lot of it about Arts TV, but to say a few, our African Renaissance TV station is trying and actually is becoming a voice for the African people, because there is few private, non-influenced medias that we have as a continent-wise. So Arts TV or African Renaissance TV station is really working to become that voice for the people without any outer influence. So for the question, what we should expect from My Africa is that My Africa covers any topics that includes Africa, that touch Africa in any way. So currently we're working with different organizations, government and non-governmental organizations, because every part of the society takes a huge role in creating consciousness and awareness as a nation. We're planning to work with different Ministry of Tourism, different countries of the Minister of Tourism of different countries, starting from our Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. At the same time, different non-profitable organizations, because as I've said, the major core is creating the consciousness, awareness, and then, and then spreading this expression and making it common for people to express themselves about the ideas and topics that they have. So Arts TV plans to spread across Africa, so do My Africa. We plan to go abroad outside of Ethiopia, around different African countries, because as I have said earlier, knowing each other is one of the ways we can achieve our goals as a continent. So expect big. You won't be disappointed.
And we will. So let me raise this final point, and I think we're going to be wrapping it up, right? So as an African economy, one of the biggest problems was a misunderstanding of what the resources we have were. And apparently our resources got into the wrong hands. That was why we had to hammer on the idea of African Renaissance. So as this business show will indeed connect African businesses, drive policy change, influence the narrative across the continent regarding economy and businesses. So that will be what everyone can expect from our Arts Business Cafe. Indeed. So as you have seen our logo, we start in Ethiopia and we spread across the continent. And that will be the direction of our content. So I guess that's all we have to say.
Yes.
That wraps it up.
That wraps it up. Stay tuned on African Renaissance Television Services for all our English and Amharic, Swahili and French in the
soon to come.
Very soon.
Soon to come, yeah.
So thank you for watching.
Applause for us.
Good day.